Chapter 20, January 30th. Dear Charity, thank you for your letter. I love hearing from you. I'm mailing you 2 letters in this envelope, one for you and Rebecca, the other for Ethan. Could you please give it to him? Since you asked for my news, I'll give it to you in detail. Where to begin? I went back to the hospital right after New Year's Day, and Mom, Neil, and I met with Dr. Thomas and 2 of his colleagues. I wish you could have been there. It's hard to write down what happened, but I'll try. Dr. Thomas hung 4 sets of my x-rays on his light board, which included a series he'd done that very morning. The first few sets of x-rays showed big dark spots where cancer had eaten away my bone. But on the newest set of x-rays, the spots were smaller. He explained that the x-rays are showing that the cancer wasn't nearly as advanced as they originally thought, so I endured another biopsy which showed that, while there were still some questionable cells, the doctors felt that after a round of chemotherapy, I'll eventually be all right. In other words, no amputation. What a relief. Mom went ballistic, which means crazy angry. She shouted, "What if you'd cut off Leah's leg and then found you made a mistake? Then what would you say?" Dr. Thomas insisted he hadn't made a mistake. He assured us that his diagnosis had been correct. He explained that sometimes x-rays can look different from each other, but he did agree that he was mystified by the shrinking spots. He showed us some pretty interesting stories in a medical book about patients who go into spontaneous remission, with absolutely no help from medical science. He admitted that there really are some weird unexplained healings. I mean, people who were at death's door, much worse off than me, and then their sickness mysteriously vanished over time. That's when Dr. Thomas recommended chemo. He said it was the smart, responsible thing to do. I'm not crazy about taking it. I'll probably lose my hair and be sick, but I guess it's best not to take a chance than that I'm not having a spontaneous remission. Neil was real quiet through the whole discussion, but right after Dr. Thomas finished with his explanations, Neil says, "Spontaneous remissions. In my day we called them miracles." It made me laugh and of course think of you and Rebecca. It also made everybody in the room relax a little. Anyway, Dr. Thomas agreed that there were some things science couldn't explain. Whether we call it a spontaneous remission or a miracle doesn't matter to me. All I know is that I still have my leg. And in spite of having to go through chemo, I have a good feeling about this. Charity, you might even say I have faith. Maybe your prayers for me helped after all. Which brings me to the part Gabriella may have played in all this. Only Rebecca and I ever saw her, but she did exist. Emily's diary is proof enough for me. Molly can't understand how it could have been in the library all these years and nobody ever found it. It's a real mystery, and only Gabriella knows the answer. Speaking of books, did I mention that I got my own Bible for Christmas? I've been doing a lot of reading in it, especially about angels. I keep thinking of all the things you told me about them that night we decorated the Christmas tree. And so I'm going to tell you something that may make you think I've gone nuts. Charity, I think that Gabriella might have been an angel. That would explain so many things about her, the way she seemed to appear and disappear, the way I felt so peaceful the last night I saw her. She may even be responsible for the craziness with my x-rays. I honestly can't find another way to explain these things that have happened. But you're smarter about these things. What do you think? Anyway, I do know that you and Rebecca and Ethan are angels too. Earth angels who came into my life when I needed a miracle. Thank you for your friendship. Please keep writing and tell Rebecca that if she ever sees Gabriella again, she should throw a net over me. I have 100 questions I want to ask her. Leah.